Right, good morning everybody and welcome to this introduction to GovernorHub. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. So my name's Jane and I work on the support team at GovernorHub. I'm joined by Leonie, who also works on the support team. You may have chatted with Leonie if you're an existing customer before, and she's very knowledgeable about all things GovernorHub. So together we're going to sort of co-host this webinar this morning, which is about 30 minutes long. We're going to try and keep it to 30 minutes. So I believe that we have a range of people on the call this morning. We've got existing customers who are looking to consolidate what they might already know about GovernorHub. And we've also got some new customers as well who are interested in looking under the bonnet and seeing what exactly GovernorHub is all about. So I hope within these 30 minutes, my aim is to give you a really good overview of what GovernorHub can offer to support your governance. And also at the end, we'll signpost you to places you can go for more information as well. Because obviously I'm concentrating just on GovernorHub this morning. You might be interested in looking at GovernorHub knowledge, and we can signpost you to something about that. And if you're a multi-academy trust, there is additional functionality within GovernorHub. So if at the end of the demo, you're part of a MAT and you're interested in knowing about that, if you contact us, we'll put the details at the end. And we can show you the map functionality as well. Okay, so a little bit about us. So we support over half of governing boards in the country now with their governance, 600 plus, I think that figure's even more now, multi-academy trusts. And we have a lot of engagement with governors across the country. A lot of people trust us with helping them to deliver great governance. So here are some things that our users have said about us that we're really humbled by. We get a lot of positive feedback from our customers, and you'll see from the quotes that I've posted there. Jackie from Bishop Wilkinson saying that it's worth every penny and more. It saves money, but it also importantly saves time. It's also a system that's been developed for governors by governors as well. And the team at GovernorHub, we're all governors. Most of us have a background in education as teachers and SENCOs and leaders, school leaders as well. So we are very much an experienced team behind the product. So as you can see here, with GovernorHub, you are in good hands. We are a very experienced team. We also behind the scenes do a lot of campaigning to raise the profile of governance, which you might have seen. A year or so ago, we did some work on the role of the trust governance professional to promote that role with our governance insight on women's work for International Women's Day. And last year, we produced a report into the missing pool of talent on school governing boards, which you may have read, which was to try and increase more governors to volunteer through looking at diversity and how we can get different parts of society and different people to volunteer as governors. We partner with a lot of other governance organisations, such as Governors for Schools and iGovs. And you may have heard of the Hoot, which is our free access governance blog, where you can read regular articles about governance with things that are happening in the world of education. Your governors can even sign up to a weekly news briefing through the Hoot, where you can get emailed a list of the top stories in education and resources that help you with anything that's connected to governance as well. Okay, so that's enough about us. So about the product. So GovernorHub is a great place to store all your governance work. So it's very secure. It's a cloud-based storage platform. You can access it securely, and you can also have multi-factor authentication as well. So it's a secure place to store all of your governance work. It's also great because everyone on your board can get organised because there's a shared calendar and you can schedule all of your governance meetings there. You can mark attendance through the calendar. You can link documents and folders to the calendar and also add things like Teams meetings if it's a hybrid or a virtual meeting. You can also use GovernorHub to manage your board membership in our members area, and we'll show you these areas in more detail in a moment. But you can, admins can add and remove members, you can manage appointments, allocate people to the constitution, you can assign roles, and you can organise your committees, as well as a whole host of other things like oversight of declarations and confirmations. Through GovernorHub, you can communicate better through our interactive notice board. So governors can have conversations through the notice board. You can share resources. You can share signpost governors to documents. And you can communicate and engage with your governors through a shared notice board. Very importantly, if you're an admin, GovernorHub provides you with a secure body of evidence for when you need it most. So you can pull off a whole host of useful reports using GovernorHub. Gone are the days when you need to create your own spreadsheets. Hopefully, we've got most of the information covered that you would need to pull off at the click of a button. Things like training records and declarations reports and attendance reports. But again, we'll go through those in more detail in a moment. One great thing that you get with GovernorHub is friendly experience support at your fingertips. Now, as I mentioned, Leonie's on the call with me, but we also have Jade and we have David and we have a whole team of people that are there to support you to use GovernorHub. And we, 5 days a week, we are there and we get back to you same day with any queries that you have. So if you have any technical issues accessing GovernorHub, or you have any questions about how GovernorHub works, or maybe you've been to a demo like this and you think, oh, I can't quite remember what that was, I need to ask a bit more about that, you can chat with us via the live chat, or you can email support@governorhub.com, and the team will get back to you and engage with you and help you with whatever it is that you've asked. Okay, so that's kind of a brief overview of what GovernorHub does. I'm going to come out now of this and go into GovernorHub so you can actually see some of these things in action. So when you sign into GovernorHub, it's with your email address and a GovernorHub specific password. And you can also have multi-factor authentication through an authenticator app as well, so that you can have that additional level of security. And when you sign in, come to a landing page. There is a Governor News page, which pulls from gov.uk, Schools Week, anything that's relevant to governance. If you're a trust, you can have trust news appear here. You can share things like your Governor News letter, and that can appear in a governor's feed as well. Your upcoming events are there, anything that's scheduled in your calendar. A lot of governors find this really useful for getting quick access to meeting minutes. So anything that's in your calendar, you can, if you've tagged the folder on the calendar, you can actually click and go to the meeting folder. So gone are the days when you need to scroll through to find the meeting folder. You can just click and find it from the first page from within GovernorHub. And similarly, if it's a hybrid or a virtual meeting, you can add the joining details and people can access them from the front page. At the top, we have the washing line, and this is where all of your boards hang. And we also have, you'll find your name at the top right, and this is your profile area. This is where you manage the bit of GovernorHub that's about you. So let's go in and have a look. So you click on your name and you go into your profile. You can add, under the About You tag, you can add a photograph. You can also add some basic details like a little pen portrait. You know, if you do pen portraits on your website, you can add some details there. You can update your email address here. Add governor information, and we've also got a box that's optional to complete for diversity if your board's collecting diversity data. You can see who can see this. So if you're interested in who can see this personal data, you can click there and you can toggle this here if you only want admins to be able to see this information. Now that's true of all this information here. Obviously the diversity information is only you, because anything that's created as a result of that is anonymous. The second tab within your profile is your compliance area, and this is one place where you can add your declarations and make confirmations specific to your boards. So you can update your declaration of interest here. You can hover and see when you last confirmed it. Every time you make a change, so if you add a new declaration of interest, so let's just say you add one here, business interest. Perhaps you work for a carpet company that supplies schools with carpets. You can add additional information. You can put the date that that started. And if it's ongoing, if you leave the end date blank, then it's ongoing. If you're on multiple boards, you can select which boards this applies to. And then when you click add, because you've made a change, it asks you to reconfirm them. So you reconfirm and say, yep, I've made a change. So they're up to date as of today. And your board admins can download a report that I'll show you later that is everybody's declarations up to date. And they can be chased as well by admins, and admins can send reminders to people to complete them. So it's nice and simple because you can see them all in one place and you just click to confirm or reconfirm or unconfirm and reconfirm. You'll also find keeping children safe in education here, which you can confirm in the same way. So we always have here the latest link to keeping children safe in education. And if the DFE update that link, then we update it. And governors just, again, click to confirm or reconfirm that they have read, and it will advise you of the date that you last confirmed that you'd read keeping children safe in education. And again, board admins have oversight of this, and they can see and check that everybody has read or confirmed that they've read it. Beneath that are any board-specific confirmations that have been set up for you. So your board admins may set up things like I agree to the code of conduct, or I've read the online safety policy, and there may be documents for you to read. And again, in the same way, you just click to confirm them there. So you can manage all of your compliance in one place, which is really nice. The next tab is your training record. So anything that you're booked into through GovernorHub would appear here. If you use GovernorHub Knowledge, that's done automatically. And similarly, any training booked through GovernorHub appears here with the certificate waiting for you to download. If you complete external training courses, you can add these manually, and you just do that very simply by adding a new training record. You enter the name of the training and the date, and you can even upload the certificate as well. So you can keep all of your training record in one place. And again, your admins can have oversight of that and download training reports for boards. Okay. Right, so let's just have a look at one of the boards. So this is a typical board on GovernorHub. You have the school information at the right-hand side, and you have the first tab is the notice board. So you access it by just clicking the tab on the washing line. The notice board is where you can communicate with your board. So you might use it to notify governors that you've uploaded something, or to share a resource. So you might say something like full governing board meeting papers are here. And what you can do for your governors is you can link it to the folder. So you can find the relevant folder. Let's just say it's that one. And you select it, the link to the folder, and then you click that and it hyperlinks it as well. So that when you send this and you post it to the notice board, it will not only post it with the link, so governors can just click in and get to the meeting papers, but also it triggers an email as well. And here you choose who is emailed. So if this is a full governing board meeting, you would leave it set to the default of all members of the board. If it was a particular committee meeting, you would just select the committee or members that you would like to receive an email. And when you click send, that notifies the people you've selected, and they can click straight into whatever it is you've shared. Governors can interact with that, so they can add a reaction, like, yeah, I've seen it, and they can add a comment as well, and you can have a little comment stream there. If it's something really important, you can pin it to the top. So you can say, right, you can say this is really important for a little bit, so I'm just going to pin it to the top, and then whatever's posted on the notice board after that, that will stay at the top of the notice board. And then when you're finished with it, you can unpin it as well. So you can keep stuff at the top for a time. You can also add topics to posts to make them searchable. So if this is something, if you're an admin, you can say, right, this is a post about a meeting. So I'm going to tick the meeting tag. You can click save, and it says #meetings. So it's great because if you're looking for something particular, a governor can use this button here to filter the posts, and you can say, right, I want to see posts about safeguarding or policy review or meetings. And then once you've done that, it filters it and it only shows you the posts with #meetings. And this sort of helps, as the notice board gets longer, you to keep it organised and so that people can find what they want quickly. So that is the notice board. The calendar is next. So the next tab along is the calendar, and this is where you can keep everybody organised. What's lovely is all of your committees are colour coded in the calendar, so you can see what you're looking at. The other thing to point out is that governors can subscribe to the calendar. So if you use an Outlook or a Google or an Apple calendar in your daily life, you can subscribe to the GovernorHub calendar so that any meetings posted on here actually merge into the calendar that you use on a day-to-day basis. And a lot of people find that very useful these days. To add a meeting, it's really easy. You just click add a new event. You give it a title. And you say where it is. You say the start date. And if it's a hybrid or a virtual meeting, you can add video details there. You can say who it's for. Is it for the whole board or a particular committee? And you can select the clerk. Like I showed you when governors log on, if you want the folder to be accessible on their calendar, you can actually find the folder for that meeting and you can select it and you can add it there. So it's clicked onto the calendar event. And you can either add members manually or you can just click and add all the members like that. What's lovely is that if you're a clerk, you can take attendance in the calendar. So at the meeting, you can create the event like this. And it appears in the calendar. And then when it comes to the actual meeting, you can click to edit the meeting and you can take your attendance. You can say, right, they were there, they sent apologies, they didn't actually come. And you can sort of take your attendance like that. And as soon as you click saved, that information is stored on the system and you can have oversight of attendance on your board. So it's done and your attendance is taken, which is quite nice. The default is it's set to week view. I quite like the list view. There's day and month as well, but list's really good because it brings up all of your upcoming meetings and you can view the event or view the folder and it's in a list. It depends how you work. Some people like looking at a big calendar. Some people like it on a list. So however you want it, you can change the view of the calendar like that and work with it like that. Right, so I'm going to pass over for the next section. I'm going to pass over to my colleague Leonie, who's going to go in more detail through the documents, the membership page, and the downloads page. So Leonie, would you like to show everybody? I'll just stop sharing actually, so that we get the option to share.
Yeah, absolutely. I will just.
Thanks, Leonie.
1 second. Okay. Oh, right. So the document section. So this is where you upload all of your documents and all of your folders that you need for your governing board. Up here, we've got some links, so it's possible to add links as well. You just go to this add button here, where it says add a web link. You add the name of the link and the link itself. You can also pin these. So we've kept these at the top for ease of access. So we go to this 3-dot menu here and we select pin or unpin, and that will pop those at the top. It will also show you who modified or created the document. So my name is right there and it will tell me when. And if you hover over when the modification or the document was added, it will give you a more specific date as well. If you just hover over, it will give you the date and time. We've got all of our folders set up here. And to add a new folder, it's exactly the same. We go to the add button, create new folder, type in the name and click create. And all the folders are listed here in alphabetical order. And we've got these ones near the top by pinning them with a number as well. So we've got the name, last modified. This visible to column shows who the document or folder is visible to. By default, they are visible to everybody on the governing board. However, it is possible to restrict folders to certain committees. The admin of the committee will be able to come to this menu, this drop down, and they'll be able to change the visibility to any committee that they are the admin to. Okay. So by changing that one, only members of this separate admin committee will be able to view this folder here. This folder is also locked. It means that only admins of the account will be able to modify it. So that's for things like if you don't want the file structure necessarily to be changed or any edits to the document, the admin can lock those. And that's again by going to this 3-dot menu here. There's also the option to share it on the notice board, like Jane mentioned, and we can download folders and documents as well. Okay. There's also the option to pin these or to lock and unlock them as well. I will just change this back. There we go. And then, so within our policies document, we've uploaded some policies, and we can see here that our health and safety policy is due for review soon. It's in orange, so we know it's upcoming, and this one in red is very out of date. So to set things for review, three-dot menu again, and we have change or clear the review date. So here we go. I'm going to change the review date to the 21st of June. Select OK, and that will update it there. There's also a download report that will show all of the dates for the policies as well. I'll show you where to find that in just a second. If we wanted to mark something as signed, very good for remote meetings, anyone can go to the three-dot menu and then select mark as signed. And we can see that my name has appeared there. And if you hover over it, it will give you the date as well. If you've got multiple people who have signed it, it will say mark as signed by multiple people. Again, you just hover your mouse over there and it will give you the names of everyone who has signed it. Okay, so that's there. We can see this one is restricted visibility. It will have a red mark as well. Okay, with the local council tab, so this one's called local council, it is possible to edit this title to local board or whatever your governing board calls itself. This is where we store all the membership of the board. So we've got here the members tab. This is everybody who is a member of the Nest Academy. They're all listed down here with their different appointments and roles. And we've got some admins on there as well. Only admins can add members to the board by using this add member button here and putting in the email. They can also provide people with admin rights. It's this little make an admin button down here, as well as send password emails as well. We can see that Ellie here is a co-opted governor. If we need to change any of those details, we can just click this edit information. There we go. Or if we need to add an appointment instead, we'll click this button here, and we've got a drop-down menu of the different appointments that are in the Constitution that we can choose from. We've also got the historical members tab. So this tab will show all the historical members and changes on the board with further details if needed on there. The roles tab. Okay, so this is custom. So if you've got roles on your board that you need to assign, such as chair or clerk or something a bit more specific, go to this add new role, create the role in there. Okay. So there's finance officer. We can add someone to that role. Okay. So committees. This is where we create all of the committees. It's these are the four we've got already. So we can see in our admin committee, we've got these two people, and this demo clerk to trustees is the admin. So that's the person who'll be able to restrict the folders. To make a new committee, we've got this add new committee button just there that will set up the committee, and we can add and remove members as well. Okay, with the Constitution, here we go. So we've got all the positions in the Constitution here. We can see some are filled and some are not. We can assign members here, and we can remove them as well and edit their terms of office if needed. And we've also got a section down the bottom for other members as well. So people who may not necessarily have a role within the Constitution, but are still members of the governing board. Okay, the health check tab. So this is for use. It's linked to the Ofsted framework, and it's a good tool for self-reviewing and reflecting on the board. We can see here this one's 43% complete. This would be for the clerk to fill out and update after going through it as a governing board and looking at it together, looking at the worksheet and thinking about where your governing board sits with those. Okay, and then we've got the compliance tab as well. So Jane showed the confirmations and declarations under the profile. This page here is where we can see declarations and confirmations across the board. So we can download this report, but we can also view it via interest or confirmation. So if I look at declarations of interest, click this open here. This pop-up box will show me who has confirmed their declarations of interest. We've got all of these people marked in green and the date that they've done it. Also show me the details as well. And we've got those marked in orange for those that are out of date or red for not confirmed. And I've got a very handy button here that will send a reminder. Okay. And this will be sent to anyone who isn't in the green there. Okay, and I'm just going to move on to the About tab, which is just here. So here we've got some settings that admins will be able to change. We've got the logo, we've got Twitter or X, and here is where if we didn't want it to be referred to as a local council, but rather a local board, for example, just type that in there and that will update it for everybody on the board. Downloads. So here is where we have many different reports for you to download. We've got our board diversity data report, but with a warning that it does contain anonymized sensitive data. Got our current members, historical members as well. A really handy one is our training records. Just download that one. And this is a really handy report that shows what training has been completed for everybody on the board and the dates that that's been completed as well. And if you scroll down to the bottom, we have the document review dates that I was talking about previously, along with signed documents, but also this really handy download, which is all documents. So if you're ever in a position where you need to download all the documents you have on your board, you can just select this one and it will download everything except for diversity data. So this is really handy for having your secure body of evidence that you can access quickly and efficiently when you need it. And then finally, we've got this permissions tab. This is just an overview of who can see and do which feature on the board. So my account is linked to 2 different boards, but we can see what members have permissions for and what admins for. So for example, members can delete their own posts and comments, but can't delete other people's posts, but admins on the account can as well. And that's covering all the different parts of the site, and it will show exactly who can do what and where. So I will pass back to Jane now.
Thank you very much, Leonie. That was beautifully explained. Really good. Thank you. Right. So that's basically an overview of the GovernorHub, of the board, of what the board looks like. So just to round up, we also do a lot of work to keep you very updated about GovernorHub and our plans for the future. And we also have a regular schedule of training as well, both live and recorded. So if you have new governors join your board, we've got a link that you can share with them that will tell them how to use GovernorHub. We've got the same for admins, and we also run a whole series of live events like this one that you can join as well. So the regular webinars and training, you can find the list of those in our help centre. If you go to GovernorHub and you click help at the top. We also have summer conferences as well that we run for clerks and for governance professionals. I'd just like to mention as well, I mentioned at the start that if you, obviously this has been like an overview, if you're interested in a more in-depth demonstration of GovernorHub, Leonie is putting in the chat now a link to a training webinar that will go through. It's about an hour long and it goes through in great detail how to use GovernorHub. And as I said at the start, if you're interested in knowing more about the mapped functionality of GovernorHub, please get in touch with support@governorhub.com, because we can also demonstrate some of the map features as well that are available, as well as GovernorHub Knowledge, which is an add-on that you can get to GovernorHub, which is all of your training and your articles and the ability to set up training across an organisation as well. So please just get in touch with us if you're interested in any of that. We're also going to, in the chat, my colleague Polly is going to pop a survey link. If you wouldn't mind completing that, that would be amazing. The more information that we get about these sessions, the more useful that we can make them. And I just want to, I've just noticed it's exactly 11:30. I'm very, very impressed, Leonie, with our ability to keep to 30 minutes. I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us this morning. I hope it's been useful. And again, if there's anything more that you would like to know or find out, please contact support@governorhub.com, and we'd be more than happy to meet with you or to share training or resources with you. Thank you so much, and enjoy your lunch, everybody.